You want to pick this phone up and you want to find reasons to use it. I said it the other day in a video I collaborated on with Ramal, and he came to my house and we sat down and we spoke about the form factor and how it is quite captivating. And what I likened it to back then was the MacBook Neo.
Excuse to try and use it. You know what it reminds me of? The MacBook Neo.
Of this has been really, really nice. It's very comfortable to hold in either orientation. So even if you have it open and you're kind of using it in landscape, or maybe you have it vertical like this, it's no matter which way you put it, it's a comfortable hold and tons of great viewing angles, plus that inner display.
A few things out of the way. The outer display quality, this one just feels a little bit more like plastic than glass. And the edges are actually sharp. They rise above the display of the phone, making the phone a bit more uncomfortable to hold. Let's get the glaze going. I knew since
quirky, it looks different. It's wider than a regular phone, which actually makes two-handed typing really nice. But that same width makes one-handed typing harder since you're reaching across the screen. And because of that, I found myself enabling one-handed mode pretty often. It took some retraining, but once I got used to it,
ratio of an iPad mini. And a lot of people love the size of an iPad mini. They love consuming things on it. They love reading. They love writing. They love doing so many things. The Fold 8 has that exact magic about it when it's in that form. Whether it be reading news articles, whether it be writing notes out, you've got a really nice form.
Adaptive brightness. Of course, if you're in the house, you can just go boom, no adaptive, you can do manual, but if you're outside, boom, go adaptive. All right, guys, so the one thing I want to quickly talk about is this is very important, by the way. This is a wide phone compared to other phones, compared to the S26 Ultra, to the Fold 7.
Is. Because of the traditional form factor of phones that they've gone to, apps don't necessarily feel natural on this cover screen. Instagram feels like content's cut off. Social media in general has that feel where you're maybe missing out on things. And that's just down to the fact that it's short. Not because it's too wide.
Screen itself, the outer screen, and I don't drop this thing. I don't set it face down on concrete or anything. This thing just goes in the pocket. And I have no clue how that happened. This is supposed to be some kind of scratch-resistant glass, but yeah, it just got a pretty decent scratch inside.
Make any sense to have two displays on a phone and both of them requiring two hands? I don't know. And that's why I think it's a bit rushed in response to Apple's first Fold. Big Daddy Samsung wanted to put Apple in its place by calling this a normal Fold and then releasing the Fold Ultra, which makes a lot more sense. Until
I use most apps with one hand. Look at that. My thumb can't go anywhere without me dropping the phone, okay? With this one, because it is wide, my thumb is not going to be able to stretch all the way to the end as easy. And there is a little trick for that. I want to show that to you guys. So basically, if I double tap on the home screen
arrow, and when you do, it takes a little longer than I would like it to. Like you press, yeah, you see how it's just slow. It's slow. But that's just a little nitpick thing I wanted to mention. Also with the passcode, if it's 4 numbers for your passcode, you have to press OK after pressing the passcode.
Samsung has these inner displays down. The only issue I have with this inner display, and this is literally the only issue, is this gigantic camera pinhole. Like, I mean, what the hell is that even? Everything else, the brightness is fantastic. Even in these hot summer days, the feel of this glass feels incredibly solid. There's no bending.
One hand, flipping it around, folding it, unfolding it, it was just great. Not sponsored, by the way, this just really turned out to be the perfect accessory for the Z Fold 8. Since this is a phone made for watching and scrolling, screen quality matters, and Samsung always delivers. The new anti-reflective coating on the
Definitely something that I hope they somehow can address and kind of tweak a little bit. A lot of people are going to be consuming content, whether it's you're watching Reels and TikToks or just trying to read a book outside. You're going to want to be able to have that on this outer display because this is the most convenient display, obviously. These are very nice displays. I find them to be
for 2 applications side by side, and I can tap right over here, and that's going to come right in And again, I'm going to have the two large displays, and I can do three-way tasking just like this. That is great, okay? So far, so good. You might love this. But then again,
General entertainment, when it comes to productivity, there is so much I can talk about, but one thing in particular is a saving grace. And again, another thing that we've been pleading Samsung for years now here on this channel, it's here finally. No taskbars on Windows. Previously, if you've used prestigious chip on this planet, so all day battery, no problem. Bro, I've even gotten multiple days out of this battery. I can go a whole day on data. Multiple apps running in the background, do an hour of WhatsApp calls, watch YouTube, keep YouTube running with Google Maps running on the side, on data during my commute.
Fine. This thing gets pretty hot. I'm waiting for a software update maybe to fix this, but I don't think it's fixable because there is no vapor chamber inside. So the processor is located right here, and you're gonna know that when you're holding it in this way. You're gonna know that when you're holding it this way.
pull the flash into the sensor right here, the ambient light sensor. Look at what happens. I'm gonna turn the flashlight on and keep your eye on this bar, okay? That's what happens when you step outside. Look at how the brightness slider went up a little bit and it's still going up, reacting to the ambient.
Jump to 3000 nits is a real upgrade. I've used this phone in all kinds of lighting and environments, and I've never struggled to see what I needed to. The speakers though are just adequate to me. I don't know what it is about Samsung's tuning lately, but out of the box, I haven't been a fan. They're not bad, they just don't wow.
The cameras are cool. I've already done a pretty decent in-depth talk about the cameras in my first video, but they're pretty cool. They're not lacking in quality, but this phone does lack a third camera, which is the telephoto if you want to zoom anytime past 10.
Okay, first download GoodLock, get Camera Assistant, and set these settings as you see on the screen. All of these settings basically are working to try and kill the AI post-processing as much as possible. And that's gonna still take place after every single photo, and therefore give your photos a bit more of a realistic touch and add some personality. Also, I know this has a 50 megapixel
for casual shots, but when you're using that 10x, you do lose a lot of detail and it's just really not that great. Samsung's built-in filters are also something I suggest playing with, especially if you want your photos to look like it was taken from an actual camera. They actually look good and not cheesy, which is rare.
And softness with like pastel-like looking colors, just not as sharp as I would have expected. It's just straight out of camera. You either like this look or you don't. I personally don't hate it. It kind of reminds me of the OnePlus 15, if I'm not mistaken. The most recent OnePlus. I like the images that came out of that. But
Microphone quality that I really like on this phone. It's actually really good microphone quality for video. Another thing would be the price. I cannot justify this thing costing $2,100 or $2,200 after tax for this. It's unacceptable.
And it kind of fills the display really, really nicely. But also, when you have kids, they like to see themselves when they're taking photos, my daughter especially. So you can turn on the cover screen preview and then they can see themselves as you're taking their photos to hold their attention. And the great thing is the preview on the cover screen is much larger thanks to the
design. I thought it looked cool. I was still very skeptical. And after using this, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what Apple does and how theirs functions, and if it's anything even close to the overall experience of this guy right here, especially with all the hype and attention that this phone has gotten. I think
or if you need to artistically take shots of landscapes, this isn't your jam. You'll be wanting to pick up the S26 Ultra for that. Or, you know, if you're an iPhone user, a 17 Pro Max or the impending 18 Pro Max. You're getting this phone for the form factor and the convenience. Honestly, I've loved it and I will continue to love it. I've